Hey,
I see a
baby.
lot of people wearing the Animax ID cards and they have no ID. They're just wearing it.
Because it's a
It's a freebie.
I know, but they're just wearing it and there's nothing there.
Because it's swag.
It's the swag.
It's the swag. We're in a coffee shop and we're gonna get kicked out for sure.
Yeah, I said we're gonna be the noisy ones here.
Yeah.
This swag.
The swag. Hey guys, this is the TMG podcast, and this is the special episode, day 2 of ESGS. We are here at.
Having a coffee.
We're having a coffee.
It burns
We're right outside the hall
of justice.
SMX Convention. We're having a little bit of coffee, a little bit of a break, because we're done interviewing everybody.
For the most part, we're done. Yep.
Yeah, this is day 2. Special episode. This is actually completely separate from the usual Tuesday episode of the TMG podcast. And if you haven't yet, go check out day 1. You know, best previews. Check out the previous one.
That's part of the podcast.
The swag, part of the swag. Yeah, day 2. We have. I'm trying to be really silent because we're in a coffee and. Yeah, fuck it.
Why is my phone light?
What are you doing?
It's this swag.
What are you doing?
I'm vlogging. Isn't that what
He's
the
vlogging.
YouTubers do?
Oh, that's the one thing we didn't do in the convention. We were
This is
vlogging.
like we walk around like this.
We don't do
We're doing the day 2
vlogs.
podcast and we're vlogging ourselves.
Real
Seriously, why is my
time.
light on?
Why is your light on? It's wasting battery. Anyway, day 2, we actually got a lot of interviews done. The first thing we gotta do is. What's that? I'm getting confused.
The audience is not going to see that.
The indie side. No, actually, no, not the indie side. The first guy we actually talked about was from Benil.
Yep. So even more indie than indie. It's like student.
Indie-er.
Yeah, what was that? Less than
Indie
indies. It's actually students who were
Sounds like a band. Less than indie.
less than indie. That's actually a good name, though. That's actually a good game.
Alright, we need to patent that now.
Less than
Or
indie.
less than indie.
That's our band.
That's our game studio.
That's our video episode.
We work in a
video show.
bathroom.
No, believe it or not, yeah, Benil was there. They had like what, 2 games?
They had 2 games. Yeah, one was an N1. B was an Oculus Rift game.
Yep. And
Surprisingly.
you played the what's that name?
Untitled
Untitled.mp4.
There you go. Untitled. I thought that was actually like they had no name. That's my
Well,
first
that's
I
time.
asked him like, how do you say it? Untitled or Untitled.mp4? But the developer said .mp4. So.
Not MP4. So you played it because apparently they only had 2020 vision for the Oculus Rift. And me and Will, we have glasses and we don't want to ruin it more. So
I am the eyes of this group.
So
I
how
have
was,
to guide you through the darkness.
how was it? How
It
was
was pretty cool. It controlled more solidly than the Oculus Rift game.
the
we played
Kuna
yesterday.
game?
Yeah. Yeah, the graphics are decent, though I did get some collision bugs, and I got stuck in a fence at some point.
Is it the same concept? You're like pretty much exploring and then
Yeah, but it's more of a culmination of all these indie horror titles because you have like your phone light, you're looking for camera, a camcorder. That's why it's .mp4
okay.
and all that. And it's like a scary ghost lady that talks to you like behind your back.
Yeah, and you're walking around in the forest.
So what?
That's basically just it.
How do you die, or you just?
I got
completely-
stuck, so I never beat the thing.
He got
beat the
stuck.
thing.
He
Got
got stuck in the
fence.
geometry.
Did he mention that we can finish the game, or it's just?
I don't know. When I told them I got stuck, they said, sa fence ulit. So apparently it's happened
Everybody
more
gets
often.
stuck in the fence. Untitled.mp4. I talked to the guy, and essentially the guys from Benil, they have 2 games in ESGS, and it's just a thesis. These students that were showcasing these games, their course is actually BSIT specializing in game development. So Benil actually has a course for students that want to be game developers in the future. And yeah, these are theses. One was Untitled.mp4, and what's amazing is that Benil technically has the Oculus Rift. because when I was talking to the guy, when I was interviewing him, they borrowed the Oculus Rift from Benil. So they have that tech. And since they want, so when they were asked to make a thesis or a game, they asked if they can make a horror game with the Oculus Rift, and they obliged, and they made it. And that's actually pretty awesome that we have the tech here for students to actually make the game with that kind of tech, which actually is experimental tech at this point. And the other game called Limbone, I think you played it and I played it.
I got to play it, yep. I thought it was an interesting platformer.
Yeah, it's a platformer.
Puzzle platformer.
It's a puzzle platformer where you play a skeleton. And essentially the whole gimmick is that you can detach
limbs.
his limbs to...
Yeah, you're a skeleton walking around.
You can detach the limbs of the skeleton to basically pull levers or open up the way for you to go through. And that's essentially the gimmick. I thought it was a pretty cool concept. I had a little bit of trouble with the controls. But according to the lady there, that seemed to be a common complaint, like this, getting your right triggers and right bumpers, in order.
Yeah,
because it uses all the buttons for such a simple game to have such a complex control scheme. It's I think it can be simplified, but other than that, the core mechanics behind it's pretty cool. And from what she tells me, like there's a whole story where you're trying to figure out who you are and what happened to you and stuff.
Yeah, when you go through the game, they have collections. They have like collector items that you can like, pick up in the stage. And once you do that, you're pretty much getting the backstory of this guy. Because essentially, he's just walking around trying to get his memory back on how he died and whatnot. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I do agree though that the controls were pretty hard. That's the reason why it took a while to finish the challenge stages and whatnot. Because I was kind of struggling because you kind of have to like drop your foot down and then you just fall down, right? And then at the point when I was kind of crouching under, I had to pick up my
You have
foot,
to pick up your feet and suddenly you're figuring out if it's RT, LT, and then you might drop your arm.
Yeah,
back.
I get completely confused.
You get confused when...
So it was me. It's not really the challenge of the stage being a problem. It's more like me just struggling against the controller, and then I just keep falling and I just keep dying and dying. But what's pretty awesome about this though is I think what I saw in Benil and what I saw in, for example, UP, what we saw in day one. I think I don't know about you guys, but they seem to be the most creatively.
Yeah, they got some really unique concepts.
Yeah, they have great concepts. Among all the developers that we've seen.
I think it's partially because there's no money to be made from them.
So they have
directly, right?
Freedom.
So they're not making them to make money. They're not even thinking about, designing the game with that in mind. Because you can design a game now with a monetization scheme in mind.
Yeah.
Right? So they're just designing it to try new things, to see new patterns. And I think we saw that both in the UP and the Benil.
They have liberty of creative freedom.
Right. I think the most, how would you say, run-of-the-mill game there was actually the MP4, the unknown.mp4 game.
Yeah, MP4, yeah.
Because that seems to be a standard. Well, from what I saw on the monitor, it seems to be it's like
every
Slender.
other horror game.
It's basically Slender with a white lady instead of a Slender Man.
There's a lot of people making horror games in that Slender fashion. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's the easiest to demo out in the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
And that's the easiest to get a reaction out of a person too, so maybe that's it.
That's actually pretty amazing. I never thought that Oculus Rift was actually
So the developer actually had his dev kit open on his laptop there.
He was doing his work. He was actually developing the game right in the
on the spot.
Like kudos to those kids. Like in Benil, we had a developer right there who was working on it. I mean, didn't give a crap. I saw him rigging the stage and everything. I'm not too sure if he's fixing it for the developer or he's just making it better of a game. That was pretty cool. So that's Benil. They have a BSIT specializing in game development. So if you guys wanna, if you're an aspiring developer that actually wanna, study actual game development, Benil seems to be one of the right choices because they have, I think, the right technology. They have Oculus Rift. They give you so much options from what it seems.
Yeah, that's the De La Salle College of St. Benil.
Yeah, and that's a shame. I like those two games, like Untitled.mp4 and Limbone. I kind of wish that because they're trying to do this just for the thesis, and I kind of want to see the whole game completely. Done.
I want to see at least even Limbone come out.
Yeah, because I'm not too sure if they're going to completely finish it or once they've done the requirements for that thesis, they're going to stop. There you go. I just hope that we see the full game. But yeah, that's Benil for you. Moving on. What else did we do? We also talked to the people at the IGDA booth, which is pretty much the indie developer side. And there's like maybe around 6 games, or like 1, 2, 3, 4 developers in that IGDA.
Yeah.
And I talked to the guy. Let me get the card. I have so many cards. I talked to Chris Morrison, one of the founders in Chronicle Games, and his game is Caves and Chasms. It's an Android and iOS game. I guess it's also a platformer, but essentially you're a guy with a drill, and you're going through a series. You're going under, and then you're pretty much gathering like materials, iron and whatnot, and you're getting like rings to complete the level. And then when I was talking to the guy, he was inspired by Minecraft or Terraria. I didn't quite see that, but this is actually a pretty cool game. And he's based in Manila. And I also checked out, I think one of the best games for me was Project CQB. And we all play that. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, one of the best games that came out in this show floor.
It looks so deceptively simple too, because it's basically red versus blue, isometric, and everything. The game basically plays out in bullet time.
Yeah.
So all you do is issue orders to you guys and watch it happen in slow mo. The trick is you can't tell them to shoot; they'll shoot on their own.
They have each of your units has a field of vision.
Yep.
Then you direct them across the map, and if an enemy comes into their field, they'll automatically shoot.
And then pretty much if there's an enemy there, bam.
Yeah,
and then I think when their weapons go down, that means they're reloading or they can't shoot.
And of course, each gun has a different shoot speed or range.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that was pretty amazing. I think I like the art style, the gameplay, and I like the ability that you can actually, when you press spacebar, you can actually speed up the process.
Yeah.
And I don't know. For me, it completely works. And I was talking to the developer. There's an indie guy. It's just one guy. It's not a studio whatsoever. His name is Nico Tuaso, and he's an independent game developer. I think he's part of IGDA, and this is his first game. I think it's PC. I think it would be PC. I think I'll have to double check on my info there. And it's one of the best, I think, for me. I'll have to collect my thoughts maybe on the next podcast.
Yeah, when I saw people trying it out, or when it was just playing, I thought like, hey, it looks like a slow-paced game. But when you actually play it, it's a lot faster than you think.
Yeah,
and it's way more
moves
intense.
way faster than you think it does. Even though the game is technically played in bullet time, you don't have a lot of time to fix things if things mess up.
Yeah. And that was a pretty cool one. There's actually 2 more games that you interviewed. I think I'll play later.
The first one I played was called Tiny Monkey.
By who?
By
Buko?
No, that's the other one.
Oh, sorry.
LJ, I think.
Oh, okay. Hobby Games.
Yeah, it's called Tiny Monkey. This is basically an endless platformer in the same vein as Flappy Birds and those sort of games, except you play a monkey jumping from tree to tree, trying to avoid obstacles. So, honestly, it's not. I don't think it's particularly original, but it's still got a kind of addictive quality to it. That like, oh, I gotta do better. I gotta try better. I gotta try better. So, yeah. Sorry.
Are you okay? You fall asleep.
It's like we're playing Castlevania all over again.
Why Castlevania?
No, I fell asleep at Castlevania.
Oh, okay.
No, I was
really?
closing my eyes trying to think, and then something.
This was not coffee, right?
Yeah, it does not.
This was actually sleep medicine.
I should probably get a coffee. Anyway, we'll cut that out. So what was I saying? I was saying.
Oh, that's staying in.
Damn it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'm not gonna work on that. What were you
This is
talking
why
about?
we need video sometimes.
Yeah, actually, you're like dozing it up.
But anyway,
Wait, that was Tiny Monkeys. That was
Tiny Monkey, yes. So basically, it's just a tapping game, like Flappy Birds. You tap the monkey, tap the screen to make the monkey jump from tree to tree.
I saw you
And
fight a
then
giant bird there. Can you fight back in some way?
At some point, you meet a boss, but I didn't get that far. You do get like power ups, like you can get a dash where you swipe forward and the monkey will dash forward.
Okay.
So it starts off with the formula of Angry Birds and then adds power ups to it essentially. So by the later levels, or like by the farther you go, the more ability you'll have to just sort of breeze through it. Like there's one power where you basically spin your tail and it becomes a helicopter,
Okay.
and then you can just sort of float instead of having to jump and jump and jump. So you can just keep tapping it and he'll float to each tree, and you'll pretty much never die. But as you go farther along, more and more obstacles come.
So
like
it's more similar to like Jetpack Joyride.
in a way, yeah, because there'll be like beehives there. Jetpack Joyride is probably the better example.
explanation, yeah.
But I use Flappy Birds because it's got similar.
The control scheme is similar.
It's
to
got a
Flappy
similar
Bird.
control scheme and similar physics. As in Flappy Bird's physics, it's like the
Yeah,
the
you
bird
have to
gravity.
tap the flap or something.
So here you kind of have to keep leaping, and then if you don't tap on the tree in time, like you might fall and then you'll lose, right?
So what is your other? There's another game that
The other game I played was called
Barber.
no, it's a
Yeah,
top-down shooter.
who developed that one?
Buko Studios.
Oh, Buko Studios too.
No, Buko's. Which one are we talking about? The monkey game.
No, that was the monkey game after, right? I mean,
The IGDA games. I played 4 of them.
okay.
Today we played. We talked about Tiny Monkey, and the other one I'm going to talk about now, called B and something. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name, but it's.
Wasn't there also a tower defense game that you had?
Yes,
the first one?
that was yesterday.
I don't think we plugged it in the first
We
one.
did not, because we're gonna do IGDA like as a whole. Just to recap, these are all developers under the IGDA banner.
Yep.
Got Buzzin' something. I'm missing the name of the.
Fizz plus humming.
No,
Buzz?
that's the ship shooter.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to bring up. The bee shooter.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the name again, but.
I had a sticker of that. I don't have it now.
So essentially, what this was a mobile game, which is a top-down shooter.
Yeah.
Basically, all you have to do is control the movement of your character, and it shoots automatically. So it's a very simple game. It's not that chaotic. It's very newbie friendly to anyone in the genre.
I think it's Fizz plus Hummer.
Yeah,
Fizz
that's the one.
That's right, yeah.
All right, Fizz plus
Why
Hummer.
is that's horrible autocorrect? I have another one, Fizz plus Hummer, and the other one is Fizz plus humming. It's not Fizz plus
That's
humming.
the
It's
sequel.
Fizz.
Can I see the cards?
Fizz plus
there.
Hummer.
Here you go. Buko Studios.
Yeah.
No, the Fizz plus Hummer. It was the husband and wife duo.
Oh, sorry. There you go. It's the same one.
Oh, it is.
I have two.
Oh, so that's them.
That's them.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, Fizz plus Hummer. Yeah.
Fizz was yeah. So you pick one of the two characters, whether Fizz or Hummer, and you're basically a bees essentially, and you're traveling up a meadow, and then there's other insects trying to kill you, and Venus flytraps and all sorts of things, spiders, etc. Very cute art style, very simple gameplay, nothing too chaotic. We talked to the designers, and what they mentioned was. This is a throwback game to the days of your old Nintendo or Amiga, the top-down shooters of those days, which were relatively simple. They weren't throwing tons of things at you, right? It was just like you and stuff coming your way, and maybe you'll get a power up or two here and there. So that was sort of the idea. They wanted to make a newbie-friendly top-down shooter as a way to sort of get other people into the genre slowly. Because obviously, for those who don't know, top-down shooter is still a very big genre, especially in Japan. And some of those shooters can get really, really crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, most of them are bullet hell shooters.
Most of the new ones now are bullet hell shooters.
Bullet hell.
Yeah, that's what the term is called, bullet hell, because the screen can fill it up with bullets.
And there's like one little
Yeah, like one little gap for you.
yeah, for you.
For you. So, for him, this is just sort of a way to go back to the more simpler days of shooters.
Whereas,
But that's not to say this wasn't challenging. I died in the first. I still died in a couple times in the first level. So there is challenge to it for sure.
I actually want to try it out. That's the one game in that
it looked,
IGDA.
really solid and modern.
It is actually available
art style.
already on the Apple Store, not yet on Android, but they said they are working on the Android version.
And this is a free game.
It is free. The free version. There's a free version of the paid version.
Oh, cool.
So the free version will come out, I think, with only one stage or 2 stages, and the paid version will have more stages, basically.
Yeah, and actually, the day of this recording, they're on Kickstarter with 15 days left.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they close to refunding? Or we
I
don't know
didn't
yet?
ask, but I don't think so yet.
Is this for what's it again? Fizz plus Hummer, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, check out them in Kickstarter, and if you like the game, fund them. Support them.
Absolutely, yeah. So now the other two games I played, which was actually yesterday, the first one was a tower defense game.
Yeah, I have to play that as well. I have to play that.
What made this one? Again, I'm trying to
Warrior defense.
warrior defense.
Oh,
correct.
warrior defense.
But essentially, it's called warrior, but it's essentially tower defense. So you've got a lane, you've got monsters going down that lane, and you've got to build stuff in order to counter it. The difference here is that instead of making towers that shoot bullets, you make little barracks that spawn troops. So basically, like the stage I played, I had access to knights. So when the enemy would pass by, the knights would rush to meet them, fight them, and then chase them down to a point, and then return to their rally area. So it's more of an issue of combining different sets of troops. And you can upgrade the barracks also, so you can get bigger knights or faster knights, whatever. So it's an interesting take on the genre, which is very addicting already by itself. But instead of controlling towers, you've got troops basically. So there's a little more level of micro there, where you have to manage each individual barrack. Like, because if say a barrack spawns 4 knights and one dies, you have to rebuild that knight specifically. But the barrack is still there. You can upgrade the barrack also, or you can convert it to a different kind of barrack. Things like that. So, and there's set build points also. It's not like a regular tower defense where you can build anywhere along the lane, right? In this case, there's only set build points where to build your barracks.
So it's like a mix of RTS because there's like unit management.
In a way, there's unit management. It's not as complex as a full-on RTS. You're essentially just saying, and you have spells also. I forgot to mention, like the spell in the demo I tried had a healing spell, so I click on it and it give you an area of effect circle, and I click over my troops and they get healed. So there's that level of management as well. But as far as managing the troops, they're fully automated by themselves.
That's pretty cool, and that's pretty much IGDA. And
Yeah. Well, there was one last game I played there, Barber Hero.
Oh yeah, who did that? Buko or?
I
forgot his name.
I forget his name. I don't think he actually gave us a card.
Yeah.
I don't think he's there
don't
today
think he's
either.
there.
I don't think he's there today. His game is still there. Barber Hero.
Yeah, I played it as well.
really simple.
It's very simple.
Tap, and you lose hair.
You tap the customer's hair, cut them,
And if it matches what they
if it
think,
matches
what
what
they're
they
thinking,
like,
yeah.
you get the bonus.
Apparently, when I was playing that game, I was actually messing up. The only time I actually succeeded was the ball one, because you pretty much have to just finish
Oh
off the
yeah,
game.
because you can like over tap or under tap.
But it looked exactly the same. I don't know how
Yeah,
I
it took me a
failed.
while to get that right too.
That was pretty
Like-
weird. And then you
Yeah,
were
I
actually
just
perfecting, and you're apparently a Barber Hero. I don't know. I don't understand.
But
I failed
actually, the weird
miserably.
thing is, it's called a simulation game. So I thought, okay, you're running a barbershop. But in this essence, it's not so much you're running a barbershop. You're simulating being a barber. Because if you're managing a barbershop, I explain like, oh, okay, I have to hire barbers. I have to set salaries. What brand of chair will I get? What brand should I get?
What?
endorsed?
Wow, you know we
Like
should
it.
make that.
so
Barbershop
so
sim.
deep
Barbershop tycoon.
with swag after you.
No,
leave.
but that's why. And then he calls it Barber Hero. So in my mind, I'm thinking Guitar Hero. Right?
It's like musical hair notes.
So it's like, like how do you cut?
Highlights.
Actually, I was thinking that because I was thinking like maybe it's like a rhythm game where you cut hair, or something like that.
You made a connection with the Guitar Hero and Barber Hero. Oh, that's amazing.
Not a rhythm game, but some sort of more complex than just tapping. Like,
Yeah, I actually thought you had to trace out the hair. So I was tapping the sides, like trying to get the hair with the wings. Like the
Maybe it's
middle
my
part.
fault on why I failed, because I was like, tap the screen. And I wasn't thinking about anything else. That's all I was doing. And I pretty much had to, like, the number of taps that I had to do, and I'm done. But apparently I was doing the wrong thing there.
Yeah, I think the closer you are to not over tapping, like you have some leeway, but the closer you are to like this, the perfect number of taps, that's what determines your score. I don't know how I was gonna get perfect, honestly.
Yeah, because when you're the first one
No,
to try it
I
out,
think-
and you're just like
I
nailing
think there was
it.
like a perfect rating and then just a green check mark. Because I think
Maybe.
the better one of that's like a gold
And then-
star or something.
Yeah, and as far as the management aspect of it goes, between each day, basically.
Yeah, like
What the money you get to use it to spend on stuff like. I think there was. I forgot.
I didn't get to check it out.
I didn't get to check it out either, but that's as far as I saw of the management aspect of it.
I don't know, it's cute, but
It's cute.
it's a little too simple.
I
it's
think
too simple.
it's a little bit too simple, but I think for the kids,
Someone's
it'd be
gonna enjoy
fine.
that.
Yeah,
Someone's going like cutting hair as a hero.
yeah.
And it's already out, or
I don't know if it's out already or not. It didn't look like it was, but we can.
It looked more or less finished though.
It looks more or less done.
And there was sort of like a checking, like leaderboards sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I took by accident.
So that rounds up IGDA Manila, I think.
Yeah,
altogether.
IGDA Manila for those. We actually also interviewed the head on Manila. Apparently, IGDA is the Indie Gaming Developers Association here in the Philippines, and apparently they span across all different countries like Japan, Thailand, Indonesia. And the guy I interviewed recently, before all those game developers, was the head, quote unquote, I guess. And I talked to him a while ago, and apparently there's a lot of people as in developers, and this organization pretty much helps them in gives you a place to actually like talk to people about like other games,
Game
showing them
development.
yeah, because apparently they have an event every month. They all gather, they show their code of their latest game that they're currently developing, and they pretty much share their experiences, share their knowledge on game development, and then there you go. I was talking to the guy was an awesome guy. They have an event happening on the 29th, I think, which is another gathering, I think, with them. And I told them that it'd be pretty cool if we check them out. So I'll double check if we can actually, join them and see how it goes. Because I'd love to see more game developers and their games and whatnot. And I think there's also going to be a game jam sometime in January. And for those who don't know what game jam is, it's pretty much game developers gather.
And they try to
Crank
make a
out
game.
something within a
Yeah,
time
they
frame.
get a specific theme for the event, and they have to make a game on the spot, with scratch. Like they just make a game on the spot with they just make it. And I think that it takes a whole day to do it. And they have a specific
Like
theme.
a day or two.
Yeah, they're gonna do it with Ateneo students, I think, or developers. And that's pretty awesome. I never thought there was actually an organization that actually supports.
Yeah, I didn't
local
know we had
events.
game jams here. I thought that was just in the States.
Believe it or not, like me and Miggy we actually came from iAcademy, and believe it or not, there's actually a game jam there already.
Yeah,
which I
that
have.
one I know. But that was fairly recent.
Yeah, fairly recent. And I know iAcademy, for example, has also a course for game development. So it's awesome to hear that. Well, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like the local developers are actually growing.
And they support each other.
Yeah.
It's not so competitive. That's just cooperative, which is good.
Full on friendship.
Maximize friendship. I was talking to the developers, the indie developers, and whenever I asked them like how's the ESGS
Yes.
event, they were saying that was pretty awesome. Like it was one of the rare events where you can actually show off their games, let people or other gamers try out their games, and they're having a great time. And it's the first time also that they're like side by side with other developers and other studios that are also doing the same thing. And I think this is one of the reasons why I think ESGS is one of the unique events for a gaming community, for the gaming community here in the Philippines. Because yes, we have the traditional esports coverage, which right now at TMG we technically did not cover as much because we're pretty much covering the developers.
Yep.
We're giving them the spotlight for us, and it's actually pretty amazing, to be honest. I never expect to actually have this many
Business
Business
cards.
cards.
There's a lot
Well,
of
speaking of that, I mean, we've got a few more business
yeah,
cards.
we have a few business cards to talk about.
Still.
Where am I at? You want to talk about Dreadout?
Dreadout?
What's there to talk about?
They were here, but
They were
Technically.
here. Well, here's the thing. Okay?
They were here in spirit.
As it turns out, Dreadout, as you may have seen, I've done a Let's Play of Dreadout. I've talked about it several times in the podcast, and I love that game. I mean, I think it's one of the better horror games to come out recently. Well, anyways, so Double Happiness was supposed to be here. The Double Happiness is the name of the developers. Unfortunately, they were not, but they do have a booth here.
They have
Which was
representatives here.
being represented by the local organizers and set up for them and given them people to showcase their game. Now, it's just a little bit unfortunate that I don't think that the people they got know what the game is about because they look bored out of their mind at that booth.
There's no double happiness
There's
here.
no double. And I just feel sad because Dreadout is such an amazing game, and compared to the other horror games on the showcase here, it's probably the most polished one.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point it's already been released
It's out.
full on Steam.
On
right?
Steam, and I think we're still waiting for the episode 2.
We are waiting for
Because
episode
it's,
2 of
it's an
that.
episodic game, and
Yep.
episode 1 is out. The demo is also a separate game,
Yep, it's a separate thing.
a separate
altogether.
stage, I
It's
guess.
like chapter 0, basically. It's,
Yeah. But yeah, Dreadout. A short description of Dreadout. It's more like
It's like it's like Fatal
schoolgirl
Frame.
horror.
It's like Fatal Frame. Like you walk around a spooky village with basically a camera, and you kill ghosts.
It's a modern Fatal Frame because
Kill-
you use a phone cam.
But yeah, they use a phone cam.
Is it iOS? Is it iPhone 9? 9? Sorry.
No, it's Iris phone.
Oh, Iris. I'm sorry.
Iris
It
phone.
runs on Android.
We have no details about episode 2 when it's coming out.
No details. That's why I really wish they were here.
Yeah,
so
that's
we could
why.
have asked them what
Because technically their game is
So-
not even done. Like they haven't completed the full story.
the full story, correct?
Sucks.
And it's interesting too because again it takes a lot of influence from Indonesian folklore, which is very similar to our own local Filipino folklore, like in a lot of ways. Like the ghost lady there is very. It's also kind of a vampiric sort of spirit.
Is it only
Like,
one spirit or is it like a multitude of
There's a bunch. There's a whole series of them.
Okay.
But like basically like for example like we have a manananggal, which is sort of a vampire, right? They have what the ghost lady in Dreadout is similar, except that they don't have her body basically doesn't detach, but essentially acts as a similar vampiric sort of evil lady thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I would have been interested to ask them, have you considered looking at Filipino folklore, for example, because they are somewhat related, maybe drawing influences from that also. But as we've seen, people have seemed to gotten that idea as well, because we've seen quite a few local horror games trying to bring that aspect in.
The urban legends.
Well, right
of
now
it.
we've seen just a lot of scary white ladies, right? But
Yeah, apparently no one wants to have. Well, there's scary white ladies with long hair
yeah.
and a very bad past. So that's
Yeah.
that's a scary horror game.
Well, that's so there. I'm just a little bit disappointed with. I'm glad they were here and some people got to check it out, but
in spirit. They were literally there in
I
spirit.
really wanted to talk
Like
to those
the
guys.
ghosts.
Like the ghost.
I really wanted to talk to those guys to get more
Yeah,
details.
that's actually one of the games that I was actually one of the booths I was pretty excited for because it's an international game developer.
Right.
And sadly, they were here, but like I said again, in spirit. In spirit. But yeah, Dreadout. Moving on, I also talked to one other game developer, Zorkas. Zorkas. It's,
Zorkas, yeah.
Xorcas. I'm not too sure if I'm
They had a
pronouncing that
whole
right.
bunch of mobile titles.
Yeah, it's all mobile games. It's a local Filipino developer, and they're mostly all iOS and Android. And they have 3 games. They had 3 games that I tried out before I interviewed the CEO. Apparently, what's his name? All these cards. He has a fancy card, RJ, and he's the president. And there's one game called Pabling. And
The Urban Poor Infinite Runner.
That's what we got out of it. I mean,
exactly.
It's like a poor
it's
street
like a street
child
kid running around
with a bubble gun.
With a bubble gun, and no matter what, I don't have to aim. I just shoot like infinitely.
Yeah, he shoots forward.
Yeah, so essentially it's a infinite runner. I guess somewhat similar to I don't know the.
It's a side-scrolling.
I know
Infinite
that game you're talking about, the one you're running on the roof.
Yeah.
that-
And
whatever
essentially,
that game is.
if you're playing it on the tablet, you tap on the left side of the tablet to jump, and on the right side you can shoot.
You shoot your bubble
And essentially,
gun.
you're pretty much capturing as you're using the jump to scale through the buildings and whatnot. You use the water gun, I guess, that shoots bubbles to capture the candy that are floating around.
Yeah, you with the bubble gun you capture what looks to be a white donut,
A white donut, some candy,
and like a
some
soda.
wrapped up candy. Yeah, I got some soda as well.
and then while you're running you can pick up
like gummy bears.
gummy bears or like gummy bear cookies.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
something like
the
that.
kid wants me to have a complete sugar rush.
Food.
I don't
We
know.
call it diabetes the game.
But that was
But he's poor and skinny.
it's an infinite runner. Like I don't see any I don't see any
Is
variety
there
in it.
pits in that? 'Cause
yeah, you can fall, right? You can fall and
I
die.
don't know, I think every
never
time
fallen,
Carlos
but-
died, he ran into a wall.
Whenever I touch the wall,
Ah, okay.
So there's no pits, just
yeah.
like
So if I touch the
walls.
side of the building, I'm dead. Like I have no, even if I'm like, even if the camera's going, like kind of, if I'm
because the road is like a hill style where it goes up and down. So if you overjump, you might run into a wall.
It's like a rural area. But that's one of the games.
You're over like Steel Sheet City.
That's the thing. That's why he said like urban poor. It's like you're right. He's wearing a sando,
like blue shorts,
and he's running on corrugated rooftops, right?
With a water gun.
With a bubble gun.
With a bubble gun, yeah.
Water gun.
Probably stole.
Oh man, you're horrible.
It's terrible. Well, that's not as terrible as their other game where you play a nuclear missile.
I actually thought that was fun.
Which I have to double check on the name, but it's called Aljunaid.
Oh yeah.
And
that one controls like Flappy Bird.
That's Flappy Birds, but with a missile.
Yeah, imagine that instead of the bird, you're a nuclear warhead.
I don't know if you're a nuclear warhead, but you're a missile. You're a piece of destruction.
You're flying.
You're flying, and if you hit them, and the obstacles that you're trying to dodge are, I think, ships or objects.
Or I don't know exactly. But
and then the background is like a city. So I'm like wondering, like, if ever we find an end to this infinite Flappy Birds game,
Lopa City.
we pretty much Lopa City? I don't know.
Is this a statement to the military?
And then it's literally a Flappy Bird. So once you cross one of those objects, you get a counter, like a point counter on the upper right. And then I died a couple of times, and I didn't want to bother to try and see what other varieties they have. But it seems like an infinite.
It looks like it controls like Jetpack Joyride, where if you hold.
So there's some momentum, right?
And then you let go and the missile starts.
But what I noticed though, right when you tap
it's a bit
the
floaty.
screen. No, when you see the pointy part of the missile like completely down, it's completely impossible to bring it up.
Oh, you have to really pull it up by holding it.
You really have to hold it long. But if you're
there's momentum.
If your pointy part's already gone, there's no chance for you to survive. You're dead. And that's kind of. What can I say? If you want Flappy Birds, there you go. If you want to be a missile,
if you want to be a missile, there you go.
Yeah, if you have any.
Who doesn't want to be a missile?
Yeah. If you want to be explosive, you can play this game. Like your dreams come true.
When I grow up, I want to be a nuclear warhead. Metal Gear.
And their third game is called Denzling, and this is also an infinite. How do I explain this?
Infinite, rather.
Infinite climber.
The kid from that running game.
From that running game? What? From Brazil? No. Denzling, you're actually, I think you're a frog, a king frog, because you have a crown and everything.
Right.
And it's like an infinite scaler. You're climbing a tower.
It's infinite.
And essentially, you swipe the screen. It's another tablet game. You swipe the screen so you can pretty much direct the tongue to like wooden spots in the tower.
Or he grapples via
or
the
stones,
tongue.
so you can grapple to go up. And every time you grapple, you get a point. And then pretty much you have to go higher and higher. The higher you go, the more points you get. So it's more like you get more points. And then once you've fallen in a certain point, like you can't anymore grab any of those stones. Because actually the control is actually pretty hard. Once you swipe and you think you got the right angle to get that stone, you don't. You miss it, and then you freak out, and eventually you die. I played it a couple of times. I don't see much variety. I see a boulder that falls down. I don't know why, but the boulder falls down.
I guess if you swing to that and it hits you.
I tried grabbing it. I couldn't get it.
No, if it hits you.
Oh,
that might be it.
I was thinking I could grab the boulder, like to go up, but no, it didn't happen. And that really is like an infinite, not runner, but skater. You're climbing up. You're climbing up to, I don't know, Rapunzel. I don't know what the hell is going on. You're a frog with a cape. And
Super frog.
I don't know, man. It's like the Frog Prince turned into a Frog King. I think it must be the sequel.
The Frog King.
It must be a sequel to the Frog King or something like that.
The Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It looks pretty good. I think it's already out, as well as all three of these games, Pabling and Aljunaid.
Are they all free to play?
They're all free to play.
So on
Android and iOS.
All right.
The other developer, we actually have two more developers to talk about. One is Boomzap.
Yep.
And they had 3 games in their booth at the ESGS. And talk about the developers first. This is actually the first developer that I heard. How long have you been around? Oh, we've been around for almost a decade.
What?
They've been here for a decade.
They've been around for a while, apparently, and their games look very.
Say it.
No, I mean they were
Say it.
Generic.
not generic.
Generic.
They were what I would have expected. Let's say
Uninspired.
it's what I. Yes, that's the word I would use.
They are a business for 10 years.
But
That makes sense.
That may not be so surprising when you consider the fact they've been around for 10 years. So
And this is their first dive into the mobile market.
Yeah, I was talking to the marketing manager there, and he was like saying that they've been around for quite a while. They've been doing some like PC games in the past, and then I think they've done over 40 games from what I've heard. You can check out the interview of that if you want to be more specific on the details. But yeah, over 40 games, and then the first how many games did they have? The first 1, 2, 3, the 3 games that were in ESGS, which is Pillage People, Super Awesome Quest, and Rescue Quest. 2 games that are Quest. Those are their first jab on the mobile market. And the first one is Pillage People, which is pretty much Clash of Clans.
Yep.
And
It looked like Clash of Clans too.
I don't know what else to say. I don't think
What genre is that? Like
Clash of Clans, it's city building.
tower defense?
city building invader. I don't know how do you describe Clash of
Like
Clans.
multiplayer tower defense?
But Clash of Clans is very famous, so if you guys know Clash
Yeah.
of Clans, then that's what Pillage People is all about. And I think it's also available now on iOS. So you guys can check it out. I don't see much of a difference in it. I don't know what makes it unique or different from Clash of Clans or any other games like that. But you can check that out. Another game called Super Awesome Quest. Super Awesome Quest. And
Is that the one that looks like Bejeweled?
no, that's the other one. I'll talk about that in a bit.
Super Awesome Quest
Oh,
was a
this
little
is
bit
like
more
the-
interesting because
yeah.
it had
Yeah,
this.
you played it. Oh shit.
It's the one where it plays like an
it's-
RPG.
It's,
Yeah.
it's an RPG system with a tile-based combat system. When I
Yeah,
say
like you
tile-based,
reveal tiles and they have different commands.
abilities and powers. So it's a bit of a puzzler in a way.
It's not really a puzzle. It's more like if you, for example,
It's luck and strategy.
yeah, the top-down part of the screen is pretty much you see your character, your life, and then the enemy you have to face, right? And then the bottom part is a big square, and it's like in tiles.
It's filled with golden tiles.
Yeah, if you open a tile, in the first start you have maybe like 4 tiles that you can choose from. Like, and it's pretty random. Like you have 1 tiles for attack,
Once to
One
heal,
like
one's to
magic.
heal, one's to get defense, and one's to actually flip to get a new tile, a whole new board. And once you use it, for example, to attack the enemy,
It flips all the adjacent tiles around it.
yes,
To reveal newer.
and then you have more options to do.
rules.
And typically, it's not really puzzle because it just because you don't really know where or what you'll get.
So yeah, it's strategy luck is what I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of luck based, I guess, and strategy also because the more
Because
tiles
of
you
which
unlock, the more
tiles you
options
use,
you
yeah.
have essentially.
Yeah, and essentially, if you, I noticed that I don't know what triggered it, but when I was using, because I was like, you know, fuck it, I'll use all the attacks, and I was in the point that I had no more attacks, and it took me like a while until I get a whole new board until I attack. So I was constantly being defending. So it's very random based, very RNG based. I'm not too sure how they like implement the abilities, but that's how it is. And it's also similar to like it's a stage, and then once you're done with that enemy,
Yeah,
you
you
go
go
to
to
the
the
next
next one. It's like a 3-star system. So in a way, it's kind of like Angry Birds in that
There's no
sense.
customization. I never even checked if there's any customization in that game.
Angry Birds, not in gameplay, but Angry Birds in the sense of progression of map. Of the
Yeah.
map, you know,
Even like just the same as Peggle.
or Peggle, or cut the rope, or anything like that.
Cut the Rope,
Yeah,
Or Angry Birds, like you said.
yeah.
Angry Birds. And the last game, Rescue Quest, is
The Bejeweled lookalike. based
Bejeweled.
on-
And essentially it's Bejeweled with essentially
The
your-
board is different. The board has
the
a
board
certain shape.
is more horizontal.
It's
not
still
square.
but it's still match
Matching
3.
jewels, yeah.
It's still match 3.
Yeah, and then when you match it, you're pretty much giving a path to your quote-unquote hero, which the objective is to bring that hero to the cage that pretty much captured this encloses
Yeah,
sprites or their sprite friends or whatever. Clearing up these, if you match up these gems, you're pretty much clearing a path for a hero, leading up to the cage, and once you get that hero to the cage, that's the end of the level. You've completed the level, and it's like somewhat similar to the Angry Birds stage where you go from one stage to the next.
Yeah.
There's not much variety into it. It's the same thing. I'm not too sure how hard it is or whatnot. I couldn't go to the next stage because they were asking me to do a specific, go to you navigate the stage by using your 2 fingers, and I couldn't really trigger that to happen, so I was kind of stuck. But you played it too,
Yeah, I did.
and it's the same.
I played a bit with it, but it's essentially for me, it's like match 3. The whole making a route thing seems to happen on its own.
Yeah.
You know,
So there's
just
no,
as
like,
long-
alternate paths
So as
or
for me,
anything?
as long as you just keep matching 3, eventually you'll win.
Yeah, and then that's it.
And that's it. I
It's
didn't,
Bejeweled with an M,
With an
I
ending.
guess.
yeah, without a time limit, basically, it's just more. With
Yeah, there's
an
no
ending.
time limit as well. There's no tension on like how to do it right.
Which is what made Bejeweled more addicting. I think is that there was a time pressure to get a certain score.
Yeah.
Right.
And this one is just
But
progression.
this one has progression, so I mean that appeals to other people, right?
Yeah.
Like having progression.
I want to progress.
Yeah.
I want to be better. All right.
But I think
ahead.
I just want to say I take it back. I don't mean to say uninspired, but yes, Clash of Clans and Bejeweled. I mean those.
It makes sense because it's a safe.
Safe is probably the better word I should have used rather than what I did.
Yeah, and it's actually you can't really blame any developer to be safe because it works.
Yeah, it works.
And if they can actually dethrone the ones who are actually overthrown that are dominating that specific genre, like for example Clash of Clans, then why not? Right?
Why not? And as you said, they've been around for 10 years, so they're a business first and foremost.
Yeah.
So
they know how it works.
They know how it works. So
and in fairness, they actually overall the game works. It's very
it looks really.
The
their
games
look
are
really
competent. And it just so happens that they aren't particularly like as original as a lot of the other entries we've seen. Today or yesterday, for that matter.
All right, and our last developer that we were greatly able to interview was Skillshot Labs. Yesterday there was no one there.
Yeah.
But today, thankfully, they were there because I think when I tried to go up to the guys that was on their booth, and then when I asked them, I'd like to interview the developer in your games, and the guy also asked,
not here.
Games? What games? I'm like, I'll come back. So I'm not too sure if he was the developer or even that. I think he was just sitting down. I'm not too sure.
What are these games you speak?
But now we went back to their booth.
And there were games.
They actually
there
had
were
the
games,
stuff on display.
And this developer, there's actually a 2-year or a 3-year developer. They focus primarily on iOS and Android games. And on their belt, they currently have 11 iOS games.
Wow.
11 up. And though I think they have 9 already out, and I think a couple of more in development. But the one thing I focused when I was interviewing them was Maniac Market. And essentially, their idea was that they never found a game in the iOS market or any like Google Play or the Apple Store where it's a game about going to the grocery and then getting recipes for your dish or whatnot. But essentially, you pick a recipe and you pick a wet recipe or a dish, and essentially you have to get the ingredients to make that dish. And you go to the grocery and you essentially have to pick an order how you want to pick up a specific a specific ingredient, and each ingredient is color coded. Like if you want to get carrots or flour is yellow and carrots is green. So once you've plotted the order in which aisle you want to go to, like you want to go to the green area first, okay, you press green or whatnot. You do that, and essentially you're, the interface is pretty much you're in a cart and you're moving fast in like one straight line, and the ingredients are on the side, and all you have to do is like swipe the ingredients on the left
And
or the
it
right.
dumps it into the cart.
Yeah, and then hopefully you can get all of it before you hit the end. And once
Just
you
like
hit the
real
end-
life.
I don't run. It looks like I was running.
I ride the cart and just dump everything.
Yeah. I don't think there's any much penalty if for example you get too much. But essentially, like if you see like 3 or 4 flowers that you need, you get whatever's left in the shelf. You can swipe, put in the middle. And every now and then there's some stages where there's actually I don't know why there's a bucket in front of you, but you have to tap on that bucket to eliminate it because you don't want to get.
It's an obstacle of your
It's an
cart.
obstacle. You don't want to crash, I guess. But all you gotta do is tap it before it hits your cart. And once you've got all of the ingredients in the cart, there you go. That's one stage.
Yeah. Now you can eat.
And I don't know if you eat it, but it's a pretty cool concept, I guess. I think it's already out. And oh my god, is that a guy with a brief in his head? Dude, there's a brief in his head.
Oh, that's hentai kamen.
Hentai kamen, yeah.
You should check that out. It's a really funny movie.
Sorry guys. I just saw a guy walking
Welcome to the
around.
Tokusatsu cast.
I just saw a guy and he had a brief in his
That's
head.
like not even a
Well,
good hentai kamen costume.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
It's
not.
not. Because the hentai kamen costume has even more. He has like
His
a Borat.
costume
He has
is
like a
underwear.
He has like a Borat like.
I lost my
swimsuit.
train of thought.
Hentai kamen, he pulls the garter of his underwear up and over his shoulders, and then crosses it.
So it looks like a Borat
swimsuit.
Yeah.
Then his
so
mask
weird.
is like a panty.
That is so.
And he fights
Okay,
evil
wait,
with it.
back to the back to the
Anyways, yeah, the
coverage.
cosplay is in full force today, guys.
Yeah,
It's more
day
than-
one was
more than
actually
yesterday.
Yeah, yes, day one was actually pretty light. Today there's a lot. We saw
Maybe War Machine's tech took it all, but
Yeah,
then we
no.
saw some
Well, we saw
a really good
we saw a
League
lot of
one.
League.
League of Legends was completely covered here,
We saw 2 Sub-Zeros. We saw
which is actually they come. It's canon.
Yeah,
So
that-
there's
that
always
happened.
two. There's always two. There's always two.
and we
Sub-Zero
did
one
Lily
and
Rockefort
brother.
from Tekken.
Before we talk about the
No, I think that
actual
was
event,
Chi from the anime.
but before we actually finish
I don't know.
the event itself, one more game that I want to talk about before we end off the whole developer talk. Immunition, and essentially it's their take. It's Skillshot Labs' take on Battleship. Like you know the traditional Battleship.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you
Hey,
I sunk your
battleship, bitch.
But here, you're pretty much your battlefield is your body.
It's
your
like
head,
Dr.
your
Mario
lung.
Battlefield.
It's Dr. Mario Battlefield, and you either can play against with a friend. You can actually but you put in your tablet. You actually you essentially you either can choose from being the virus, the white blood cell, and I forgot the
Ooh.
other one,
The antibiotics.
the antibiotic and the bacteria.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure what the variety is. If you pick that specific with that.
Protoss, Zerg, and...
Yeah, and essentially there's like 4 types of units, and it's a hexagon map. It's not really like a square map like that. It's a hexagon-based diagram, and essentially you pick a specific unit. For one, you actually have to. Each unit has a specific unit count. Before you play the game, you have to plot how many units you want to have in your team. Like you essentially have 15 units, I think, and like the basic units like require like 2 points, and then one requires 3 points, and one requires 4. It's the AMD.
There's an AMD inflatable bat.
And
I want one.
and so once you've gathered your lineup of units, then you can start plotting your units in the hexagon field, and you have to pretty much like one unit. You have to draw the specific shape. Like if there's like the basic unit, you pretty much have to plot one. It only covers one hexagon. And there's the other bigger units. They cover like maybe 2 hexagons or maybe 3 hexagons. So you have to just draw it. And you're pretty much plotting it in the stage. And then once you're done, the AI or the player that will be playing with you will do the same on his stage. And once it's your turn, you have I think you have like
where...
yeah, you have 6 guesses. You have 6 points. Like 1 point pretty much lets you check on 1 hexagon space. And once you find where he is, you have to use another point to damage that unit. And essentially, you once you've done like 8 or you've used 6 or 8 of your units, you have to end your turn, and then the opposing player will have to do the same. And pretty much the last man standing wins, just like in Battleship. And I think it's actually pretty cool. It's I lost completely. The AI kicked my ass.
Can you play with other players on this?
Yeah, there's no online I think right now, but you
Or like local ad
you-
hoc or something.
you can like plot your units and you give once you're done doing your
You
thing,
give your
you give the
field.
tablet to the other
Oh,
player.
okay,
That's
so
how you do it. I'm
You
not
switch
so,
your screens.
yeah.
All right, that's neat.
That's actually pretty cool. I actually like this. That's the one game I actually like.
Battlefield's one of like my favorite child board games back then. So
Yeah.
it's nice seeing a take on that now on modern tablets.
And I think it's also available now, and it looks pretty polished. It's actually pretty cool.
You played it on Android?
I think the one I was touching was Android, yeah, but I think
Is
it's
it-
also available in iOS
is
and
it
Apple
free?
Store. It's free,
All right, cool.
and it's really cool.
What's the name of this again? Immunition?
Immunition? Immunition.
Immunition.
Yeah, IMUNITI.
Immunition.
Immunition. And that's Skillshot Labs. I played a couple of the games, but that was the one I actually interviewed and I asked them, what is up? What
Yeah,
the
it sounds like the
game is.
most interesting one.
Yeah, that's actually the one. They actually have a poster and everything. And that is the developers in a nutshell.
Yep.
You okay, Will?
Well, wake up.
We're almost done. We're almost done.
Click your
Developers are
heels
done.
together.
The developers are
There's no
done.
place like home.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, guys.
It's okay.
You want some of my coffee?
You want
Maybe
what's
later.
left?
I'll get
Just
coffee again.
smell it. That
No,
should
but
be
we're done.
enough.
We're done with developers. That's actually a lot.
You can wake up now. We're done.
Yeah, we're done. We kind of were missing out on the publishers like Strife and
We did come. Unfortunately we weren't able. We were planning to. We tried to schedule something with them, but
they're-
they've been so
they've
busy,
been busy
with
with
their
their-
tournaments
and their
Yeah.
program.
that we just can't get in on it. So what we've done is we've just given you a quick peek in the videos what their boots are like, what the games are like.
I think one of them had a dance competition.
There is a
while
dance
ago.
competition ongoing now, I think.
Yeah.
But Strife, basically, to give you guys a brief, Strife was what we were excited about because it is a MOBA, which is normally it's not something to get excited about because MOBAs are MOBAs.
MOBAs are everywhere.
But this is actually developed by S2 Games, which gives it a bit of a pedigree. S2 Games were the ones who developed Heroes of New Earth, which was one of the first retail MOBAs to ever be released, alongside.
I'm not too sure which came first, League of Legends or Heroes of New Earth.
Actually, League of Legends came first, I think.
Yeah, but they were in the same year, I think, when they hit beta.
They were the same year as they were being released. Heroes of New Earth was much closer to the original Dota formula.
Yeah.
This was before Dota 2 ever, so they got a bit of a following because of that. So it had essentially the same map, the same heroes, things like that. While League had, of course, its own variety of heroes. So now they have Strife. This seems to be their newest MOBA. It's a lot more action-oriented from what I understand, in the sense that, like, healing, for example, it occurs much faster on the map, so you don't have to keep going back to town. You can just sort of stay around. And
It's still 1 hour of my life, right?
it probably is going to be still 1 hour of your life.
Per game.
It's got a total different cast of heroes now, apparently. I'm pretty sure the map is the same, but that seems to be the case for all
For
MOBAs.
mostly all
Yep.
games.
But there seems to be a sizable crowd playing it, so there is a following apparently. Of
Yeah,
this
it's still a
game.
tournament.
Yeah.
I think Imperium has his team there playing the Strife. I saw like the owner of Imperium there
Right.
in his group there. We didn't talk to the Imperium guys, but it's okay.
They're busy with their tournament.
The next door to them was Cubizone. I'm sorry, the Strife is being done by Level Up. Next door to them is Cubizone, who have Age of Kung Fu, which they had a PvP tournament the other day, which admittedly looked kind of laggy.
Super laggy.
That was funny.
But that was funny. And today there seems to be a music dancing festival. Sorry, the dancing festival. A dancing
Dance-off.
game that they're showing. Okay, so that's on the publisher sides. There's also Dragon's Nest,
Yeah,
Southeast Asia,
but they don't really have anything.
which hasn't been really. They're not really doing much. They have a bunch of Counter-Strike games. That,
Counter-Strike-ish.
to be fair, look all the same except they have women.
And
That's
everybody
outfits.
uses them.
Yeah.
Fire in the hole.
And then I think it was Crossfire.
And it was
Crossfire and Point Blank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And something Assault also there was a third one. So there were 3 Counter-Strike-esque games being shown there. None of which are particularly new. I think all of these have existing fan bases.
yeah.
I could not tell you the pros and cons between any of them, except for me, I would just rather play Counter-Strike. At the
Yeah.
end of the
Well,
day.
this might be possibly a free alternative to
Yeah.
Counter-Strike.
Well, Counter-Strike is free, although isn't it? Not
GO?
CSGO.
It's not.
Oh, yeah.
There's also, I'm not too sure if it's a developer, there's also a thing called GameBeat, which they were showcasing Modu and Love Bear, those games. But those games, we didn't really quite do an interview with them because they had no games shown, and it's pretty much like they're both pretty much like them
Free
playing.
sign up, right?
Free sign up, you get freebies, and there's actually like a dance floor. I don't know what was going on. It's all games, so we didn't bother touching that because I don't think,
It's all games without the games.
and I don't think we had the developers there. It's all women. I mean they're all
Is
like,
that the one with the wheels?
yeah. There's a Wheel of Fortune kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just sign up and freebies.
So-
They didn't have the games to demo.
But yeah, sorry, that's about it for our day today at the
ESGS, like it's like what? It's like 4:45 right now. I think we're gonna what's left now. We've pretty much covered like the game developers. We're gonna pretty much stick
We're actually
around.
gonna play games now.
Yeah, we're actually gonna play. We're gonna just have fun with the event. We're gonna maybe play around with the cosplayers, like have some shots with them. Because we have a really awesome cosplayers. Like we said, there's that bunch of League of Legends. There's Sub-Zero. We
We're gonna look for the Sub-Zeros.
yeah, look for that Sub-Zero.
We'll look for Poison also.
No, we'll ask Sub-Zero where Scorpion, because he sure as hell knows where he is.
I think I saw a friend of mine here.
Yeah, and I think like I said, we had that guy with a uniform with a brief on his head.
We're gonna try to steal the monster truck.
Did you see? Oh, we did. Yeah, and we'll talk. Well, we'll see about the monster.
Saw
booth
some
here.
lights flashing a while ago.
It
When I was in
responded.
front of it,
It
it started
responded.
flashing. Like, oh my god, it's talking to me.
It's talking to you.
It's like, hey, fuck you.
Oh, and there's also I'm not too sure if it's a mini tournament, but they also had Heroes of North, Heroes of the Storm. I'm sorry.
Heroes of the Storm,
Which is Blizzard.
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, yeah. Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Dota 2, StarCraft 2, all of those esports games, all of those tournaments are happening simultaneously together with the game developers here at ESGS.
And not just that, we have Street Fighter 4, Smash Brothers,
On the other side.
Ultimate Marvel 3.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Injustice, I think, as well.
Injustice was yesterday.
Oh, okay, but I mean, so
Think
we've
today's
got
night.
a lot of tournaments going all at the same
all
time.
at the same time, and that's amazing.
Like last night, Smash Brothers 4 ended at like 10 p.m. It's crazy. Like when I got home, they posted a picture of the champion. It's just 2 minutes ago. Like, oh my god.
But yeah, I don't know. We're at day 2. We're pretty much done with our coverage. We're exhausted. It was pretty awesome though.
But it has been an overall awesome event, and
Yeah,
I can't wait for this to happen
I
again
thought
next
about
year.
it, and I think the reason why I'm enjoying this more than any other con is because we actually got to see everything that's happening instead of usually you just go to one tournament and spend your whole day there.
Yeah, you actually see the event, see what people like set up their booths for and everything. And we actually, once we've done all the development, we actually had an interview with the pretty much the
organizer,
the brains of ESGS, which is Jobert Yu. Which again, if you guys are listening, thank you for inviting us for this event. And I like his inspiration. I was talking to him before we even got invited for this event like a couple of weeks ago. Like his inspiration for ESGS was pretty much to bring somewhat similar to like EGS, E3 here to the Filipino gaming community. And he believes that some of the developers, we have like amazing talent here, and he wanted to mesh the really strong esports crowd with local developers. And if you think about it, that's really smart, because everybody will come here for esports.
Right.
And if you plug in the local developers here, then they have exposure. Because no matter what, this is a fully packed convention. There's a lot of people like lining up for freebies or actually watching the tournaments, competitions, and when we were checking out developers, there are some developers that were like, there's not many people checking them out, but
There's
most
always
of them,
someone like walking by or asking them a question. Wait,
yeah, especially the Oculus Rift area.
right. The Oculus Rift has got a big draw for obvious reasons.
Yeah, because it's Oculus Rift. We've never, like, even for us, we've never
Yeah,
touched
this is the first time we've tried them.
the Oculus Rift.
Which we will I think we should give our full opinions on our podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna give our awards, like the best game that we've actually checked out on, I guess,
Summary.
the worst, or more of a summary or an overall fact.
Esports and gaming summary.
Yeah, episode 58, I think. We pretty much not only ESGS but also the coverage of what happened this week. And I am running out of voice, I think. I talked to so many people. Oh my god. I have to go to work and everything. It's amazing.
Anyways, let's start it off here.
Am I missing anything? Wait, let me just look at my notes. Game Hunt? Oh, we didn't even talk to those guys yet. The Extra Life guys.
I don't even know what they do there.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about them later. But I think it's ESGS in a nutshell. Is that cookies?
Crinkles.
Kringle. Yeah, special guest mention, Kat. Yeah, there you go. She's been quiet the whole time. She's been patient.
Babe, what did you think about the Oculus Rift?
I like it.
But you
I
didn't,
very
you didn't
much
finish
like
it.
Because the game was too scary. I didn't get to finish it.
Then the developers succeeded.
They have succeeded.
Yeah. Kuna. But yeah, I think that's it. That's ESGS in a nutshell. If you guys want to check out our video interview of each of the developers and the event organizing itself, do check out on our YouTube TMG blog. We have a full playlist of ESGS in a nutshell. I think Miggy's going to be working on it soon. This episode should be up already. But stay tuned. Like, subscribe on TMG. We'll be dumping all these video interviews. We interviewed a lot.
Yep.
If you check out day 1, there was already a good amount of developers that we were talking about all those games. And day 2, checking on the timetable right now for episode for day 2, it's about the same amount. It's actually pretty crazy. Yeah, that's it. That's it for our special episode for ESGS. If you want to check out our previous episodes, check out www.toomuchgaming.net. Check us up on Too Much Gaming for Facebook, Twitter, all that social media goodness. We're up on Twitter, we're up on Facebook. If you haven't already, check out iTunes. This podcast is already in iTunes. Just do subscribe so you don't have to take our weekly podcast. But we have an episode every Tuesday. And I'm literally running out of voice because it's Kringle.
Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel,
Not do it.
TMG Blog, where the videos will be up. I'll try to get them up, like maybe all of them hopefully within the week.
So there. Thanks guys for listening. Look out for our episode 58, an overall summary of the event itself. Because this is only for day 2. And if you guys didn't check out day 1, go ahead and press previews for day 1. And I think that's it.
That's it.
Thank you guys for listening.
There was
And
some lady there with really nice legs, but
What?
the face of a troll.
What, the red skirt one?
No, inside. I think she. Oh my god, it was disgusting.
Maybe she's cosplaying a Lee character.
let's hunt her down. I have 8 minutes left. Let's hunt her down.
What?
Let's hunt her down.
You could.
We could.
And put it in the
Wait, don't you have to go now? Like, isn't it
Yeah, I have 8 minutes. We can hunt her down now. No? Alright guys, thanks. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.